the poster, and the model itself. I should tell you right now that we did not get to test them last year. We had some technological issues with our testing setup, so we just got the testing setup right around the point that it was too late. So this year, I was really serious. I've been totally committed to testing them. I've always tested them in previous years, except for last year. And so this year I thought, well, no matter what, come hell or high water, we're going to have this thing dialed. So at the very beginning of this year, I made sure that everything was all good for the testing. Technologically, we have the right calculator thing. We have the batteries for it. The probes have all been checked. Everything was ready to go. We had the lights. We had the layout. I was super pumped. And then the stupid thing with the district and then tearing down our space where we would store them. At the very end, I was able to negotiate a little bit of funding with the district, and your principal, by the way, is a total bro. He's a really helpful man, and I hate bureaucracies, and I try not to hate bureaucrats. And your principal's honestly he's cool. He was really helpful. But anyway, in all these negotiations, we had to give up on storing your houses. I'm really sorry. It was basically just a limited budget issue. Super frustrating for me because now 2 years in a row, the solar house models have not been tested. So next year, all the kids are going to be like, no big deal, they never test them. And
we should tell them that.
I expect to have everything set up for the testing, and then what are we going to do? I think that they're not going to believe me and make crappy houses. So yeah, whatever, they'll fail. I just feel bad. I don't know if you guys realize this. I know that for some of you, my work is effectively busy work. My intention is to value your time and give you meaningful work. I don't always pull that off, but I try really hard. I try really hard to find real, serious, meaningful work for you. So I'm really frustrated. I'm sure you're frustrated that we're not going to test your houses. And I'm frustrated too. I'm embarrassed as a teacher that I can't show you a valuable application for what you're doing. Use your imagination. It's actually a badass assignment. And I feel really bad that it didn't turn out. I'm sorry about that.
Can you still bring it in?
You're still going to bring it in? And what we're going to do is compare your plans to your key to the model to see if you built something that would test, that would function like the concept of your design. Coincidentally, I do have the lights in the probe, so if we find a place to store it, we can test some of your houses, but not very many, and you'd be responsible for managing the house itself, and that's why I think most of you will probably decide against it. Again, I'm really burnt on that, and I'm really sorry about that. Your multiple choice answer sheets are in front of you. You grabbed them from the back. You'll notice both years, 1998 and 2003. There's a lot of reasons to check your answers. First of all, it's a self-assessment, so it'll just let you know how you're doing. Just so you know, there's no rules about what score means what score. Because just like my exams, they get curved, and so we never know where the curve is going to be. And then your overall grade is the total, the balance between multiple choice and essay. So you know that if you score really high on the essay and really low on the multiple choice, you can still get a good grade and vice versa. So there's no single point on the spectrum. But nationally, students pass with about a 60s, I would say, on average, on the multiple choice. So if you crush the essay, which is not as common as crushing the multiple choice, if you did really well on the essay, then you can probably get away with less than 50% on the multiple choice. And if you kind of scrape by on the Essay, I think you probably need like upward of 80 or 90 on the multiple choice. Yeah, it's pass. But just so you know, in my opinion, if you got a 70 or so, you're going to pass. 70% on the multiple choice. That would be really good, considering that it gets curved down from 100 no matter what. By the way, out of 100, 2 or 3 are trial questions that aren't graded. So from 97 or 98, it gets curved down a bit. Probably in the 80 range as an average. And so I think a 70 or so would be really strong. That would be a really good grade. Just so you know, it's possible to do that because it all depends on how you're going to do on the essay, right? You can do a little worse and then do better on the essay or vice versa. I think a 70 would be a really good grade on the multiple choice. Yeah?
On your tests, you double the third ones? Is it just, do they double it too? Or is it?
So they weight the percentages 60-40. So 60% of your grade is your average on multiple choice as a percentage. 0.6 times your percentage on multiple choice.
Okay.
And your essay is 0.4 times your percent on essay. That sum gets curved on the national distribution broken up into pieces. Yeah.
What is the 5
So that's how many people got that one right in each of those grade categories. So some of these questions have really good predictive value. You can see that they'll be really well divided, like 80, 60, 40, 20, 0, for the kids that got 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And some of these questions have a very low predictive value, meaning that randomly everybody did about the same on them. They're looking for the questions that help you decide if that student was qualified or not. So technically, the questions you're most likely to see are the ones that have the most scaled pass rate to score. Is that what we got? What else? Anybody want to talk more about this? Very similar to how I curve it. Yeah, they set the quote-unquote 100% target at the 97th percentile or so. And then they break those down into lumps downhill from that. Yeah?
So if you get one of the questions right, that they discard or do anything to it?
No, it just gives them information about whether or not it was a good question. What else? You'll notice some of these say not graded. Are there any other questions about the multiple choice grading? They'll show you your weaknesses. They'll give you a self-assessment. And by the way, 3 to 5 of these will show up on the 5th of May.
Was 1999 for less than 2003?
I'm not sure, but I can tell you that the 1998 exam was the very first one that they ever did, and that's not very reflective of their reality. That was like their first try, and everybody made fun of it, and it was kind of a flop in terms of their assessment. So they've gotten really far away from 98. He doesn't read a lot more real. Which did you do better on?
1998.
Yeah, most people do. Most people do it. It makes you feel like better. That's why they didn't like it. It was kind of candy thing. Yeah.
What percent of our grade?
It's about the same value as another exam. It's a slightly bigger than average exam. Just barely bigger than average exam. Yeah, I do. I think it's 50 or 60 in that spectrum.
Are you curving it the same as you did for the first semester?
Yep. What else? I have a drinking problem. Okay. We laugh about that in this class. All right. No more drinking problem jokes. Now I probably have a wet napkin in my beard problem. Extra credit number 4 will reward you 1/2 point for every essay that you grade. Maximum of 10, so 2.5 years for 4 and 2 would get you full credit. I recommend that you grade the most recent years. Everything before 2006 is really different style. The questions have sort of, like the College Board has kind of settled into a pattern starting in 2007. You've all read the slip. You see that I put the web address of their answer keys. But I don't recommend you use that web address. You may want to write this down. Google AP Env Sci scoring guidelines. Yes?
Can you still do this before
If you did not do the outlines, you can prepare outlines first for no credit, and then grade those outlines for credit. You Google APM Sci scoring guidelines, and you go to the College Board website. I think it's the first link that comes up. That takes you to this page. Looks like that at the top. You should know to have this for all the content, by the way. So if you have other AP tests and you haven't, how many of you have already been to this website for another class or something? Okay. So check it out. If you go all the way to the bottom, there they are. Starting with 20, I don't know why 2012 is above these. Oh, I think these other ones you need a login. So you can get a free login, it's no big deal. So check it out. They have the questions and the scoring guidelines. When you click on those, please look up. You get a PDF. And you'll notice that's exactly like the keys that I use in my class. Same concept. So if your outline has this content, you give yourself a check mark for each of the points following the rules of the key. If not, you don't write anything, then you count the check marks and you grade your essay. Yeah. After the scoring guidelines, this doesn't have it. Never mind. If you go back to that website, please look up. They have scoring guidelines going back to 2004, but no further. In case you need them, I have a website with the others. I can give you the 1999 through 2003 scoring guidelines, but they're not terribly useful because those questions aren't realistic. They're not what you're going to see on the 5th of May. So if you're curious, let me know. I'll send you the link to my website that I've published with all those other scoring guidelines. As I said, if you haven't already done the outlines, you can do them now for the purpose of grading them. You'll turn in the graded outlines this Friday with that little slip and check boxes on the back. Keep track of your scores. We can talk about what would make passing grades on each of them. Anybody want to talk more about extra credit number, whatever that is? My kids will bring you back some of your essays now. Okay. Is there anything else to discuss about any of our extra credit stuff? Anything about the plan for this week? That's something we're going to do in class. You don't have to do anything for it. Diego? You'll turn in the slip and the answer. 3 is just the slip. Make sure it's complete.
And for 4, are we going to get back extra credit to answers?
For 4, are we going to get back to book?
Like, are the...
Yeah, they're right now. Okay.
So we just do check mark on the thing.
Now for the nitty gritty.
Okay. Let's let that.
I'm waiting for your attention. Your period.
I appreciate it.
Your period has chosen to do a. Wow, hey Graham, how about you just kick back a little bit? Yeah, thanks. Awesome. All right.
You made me do this.
Madeline Cutler. Hazel Anderson's office. Okay, back to trying. This will be the most important day for your year-end project.
Deciding what it is.
This will be the most important day for your year-end project. You've already decided that you're going to make enviro segments for the school bulletin for next year and try to distribute them as curriculum pieces outside of our school somehow. Has anybody made any progress talking to Haynes about the feasibility of that?
That is cool. You said that can't be that long.
What's a good time frame? Did he give you one?
Probably under a minute.
Under a minute. So we will talk more about the EnviroMinute concept, the Enviro segments for the bulletin. And it'll be on you to figure out how to distribute them elsewhere. But now, you need to choose your president and committee chairs. Have we already done any of that? Did someone have names under consideration for these positions? Sorry, I mean, did we already write them down?
No.
So this is our election day. It's a really bad day to be on your cell phone. Jackie starts. Oh, my B-Dog, keep writing. Go do your thing. School time. Yep.
You don't want to be elected.
You can also bow. Now, I have to hope that you've read your packet so that you'll know what the jobs are. I can only give you a very cursory explanation. Have we discussed the positions already? The president doesn't actually do any work. The president's job is to know what everybody else is doing and help keep that work balanced and help the board of directors make decisions. The president is the only person that speaks with me. They're the only person in the entire project that has nothing to turn in. No paper. They have a few responsibilities, but their job is basically to delegate. They should never be working on anything. They should know what everybody else is doing at all times. It really helps if your president is organized and smart. It really helps if your president is good at electronic communication. Attendance is more or less mandatory for the president. They can be absent once or twice. But it's very good if they're available. Your president, it's kind of funny. Every year the same thing happens. No matter how much I discourage them from working, no matter how often I tell them to delegate, this project really consumes them. Just keeping track of 36 students, 35 other students, it's like a really difficult job, and then knowing what each of them is doing and what they need, and how Diego's making too much noise, and how so-and-so needs a paper, how so-and-so lost their other paper. It's kind of a lot to keep track of. It really helps if they don't have like theater/athletic commitments outside of this project, because this project becomes pretty darn full-time. You know, like, everybody's supposed to be doing something. You know, Hannah might get the night off on her project, but if Carlton has a problem, sends you a text message at 8:30 p.m., you have, at that time, you need to pay attention to that. So it happens often that the president will hear about something right before bedtime and have to have dealt with it by morning the next day. So it's like it helps if this person's like energetic and like always responds to their text messages, and like, it's like, you guys know the CEOs of a big company, they don't have hours. It's not like a CEO works from 8 to 5 and then they're off and they have 1 hour lunch. A lot of times a CEO will take days off, no big deal, because nobody needs them, and then they'll work 3 days in a row, like start to stop and sleep in the office. Because there's like, the need is there for them to be involved. So, any questions about president stuff? You can either recommend someone or recommend yourself. Take 30 seconds to think about it, and then we're just going to do it all at once. Take 30 seconds to think if you want to recommend someone or nominate yourself.
Julia, 2016.
Sam, say Anna.
It really helps if this person's level-headed. It really helps if this person is rational. If this person like does well under stress. If you've seen them like flustered and freaking out over something, bad choice. Bad choice. Because they'll have a lot to be stressed out about. I've had some drama queen presidents. Disaster. So, raise your hand if you'd like to nominate someone, including yourself, or volunteer. Everybody has to grade somebody. Let's go. Would you do it? Are you available? We can talk. Gavin? Kate Gallivan.
No.
Dave Miller.
Hannah.
Kyla. Kyla.
I think William wants to do it.
Object.
Well, you're already president something, you might as well do too.
Are you available, William?
Yeah.
Oh, Willie, come
Let
on.
me just assume he was.
We got
Anna? No? You could just not vote for him. Like, you're going to take his presidency right here?
Sam St. John.
Matthew, did you see what happened right there?
No, I did not.
Somebody else goes, Matt Gilligan. And Jackie goes, no, no. I'd love to hear that story some other time.
I hate to work
If I had a nickel for every time I've heard that, Matthew. All right. I'm 11. Sorry, I'm 11. I didn't need to do that. I have. I think you did it again, bro. Oh. Okay. I have no discipline. Please don't get me fired. Please, I'm sorry. See what I'm saying? You can do this for days. Yep. All right. Well, that was a lot of entertainment. Other presidents. Let's go. We got more to do today. Yes. Jackie-O?
Yeah, I'm gonna.
Fine. Who else? We're done?
Anna.
We're done.
Alice Warner.
Yeah.
She's making a face.
Audrey.
No, Alice Warner.
Alex, yes or no?
Yeah, Alex.
I vote Will Bell
Yeah, well, Bill Fiore for the win.
for a landslide victory.
I'm sorry, but I have an organization system, and this is slowing us down. It's not a joke who you nominate for this. Like, it's fun and games to think about. And double entendre jokes are always great, but we really have to decide like who's going to be your president. That makes a huge difference to your project. So you got to get super strategic about this. Like, who seriously is going to organize this giant task? You're going to have, unlike many other projects, a ton of parallel labor. Because you're going to make 50 mini videos or whatever, it's actually a lot of content. This is a lot of fact, and this is my biggest class. Every desk is used. Yeah.
Does the president fact check?
The president does no work. They're responsible for everybody's work. So they manage people. Think about this person's communication skills, stress level, availability, and electronic availability.
And which committee, what the person was writing all of them down?
We'll talk about that. Now, anybody want to withdraw from candidacy? Jackie, anybody else that shouldn't run? Okay. So you have 5 candidates. We're going to do a heads-up, 7-up voting style. Yes!
Love that game.
Everybody must vote one time and only one time. Heads down. Heads down. I'm waiting. You're wasting time. Let's go. I'm waiting for everybody to put their head in the crook of their elbow. I'll give you your 5 choices when everybody has their heads down. For president, you have 5 choices. Gabe, Dane, Kyla, William, and who was AW? Alex Warner. Alex Warner. So those are your 5 choices.
Not her last name, but okay.
Those are your 5 choices.
He doesn't give a shit.
Now you'll have to keep your head down. You'll vote by raising your hand all the way up, and you'll have to keep it up until you have counted. So, first, raise your hand all the way up for Gabe Riali. Everybody must vote once. Thank you. Raise your hand to vote for Dane Miller. Thank you. Raise your hand to vote for Kyla. Raise your hand to vote for William. Thank you. Raise your hand to vote for Alexa. Hi.
It's Alexa Warner.
Okay, it might be. There we go.
Jesus.
Yeah, you gotta vote.
Coincidentally, another candidate voted for you, and you did not vote for yourself. What does that say, bro?
I want to do marketing, so
Excellent.
Will would be a better president.
Well, clearly other people are good for you. Good job, Will.
Yeah, you're the president of everything.
The president of presidency.
President of ASB, too.
Yes.
So the
Next, we had to get all these done today. Next. Marketing is like the strategic arm of your project. They're the ones that target and decide and make all the critical decisions. They need to know a lot about the environment where you're working. So they need to know about the video bulletin, and they need to know about other schools if that's where you're going to do this. They need to know about video production. They need to make all of the contextualized decisions. They're the brains. Yes?
Do the board of directors get to choose who works under them?
Not exactly.
How does that work then?
I'll get to that. You'll be volunteering into your positions, and I'll go into that if I get time today.
Wait, so there's the different categories of it.
If you haven't read the packet, I'm sorry. Now, the directors of each committee, much like the president, have to mainly delegate and manage workers, but they have less people to worry about. They, unfortunately, are in the middle of decisions. A lot of times, they're just a conduit for information from the members of the committee to the board of directors and back to the other directors and back. It really helps if your board of directors is good at working with each other, if they all get along well. So you'll have to keep in mind their personality stuff. Again, if they get flustered and stressed out, not a good choice. Again, they have to be available and communicate a lot. And technically, unlike the president, they do have work to do. They will consolidate daily briefs from all of their members into a report that they turn in to me and the president every Friday. The four committees are marketing, outreach, research, and production. Marketing is like the brains. Outreach is like the mouthpiece, so to speak. They're the ones that organize outward communication. So they communicate with administration. They communicate our content off campus to other students. They give lessons for little kids. They run events in and outside the campus. Research is the fact checkers. In this project, you'll need a lot of research because there's going to be a lot of facts. And so you will most likely all end up doing some amount of research. Research is also responsible for a big paper that they write relative to their topic. Production is the one that actually makes the products that are seen by the public. So not only do they build the brand, logo, motto, graphics, t-shirt, posters, so on, but in your case, they'll probably be the ones making the actual videos, which I think will also have to be a big group. And it's possible that everyone will work at some level in production. These committee assignments are not final. The board of directors will move you around as needed. But within each committee, those are the people responsible for that product. So essentially, for the videos, somebody from research might be put into production, working with the person in production. The person in production is the one responsible for the work. Are there any questions about this?
They do work? Like,
Yes.
or they...
Yes.
What's O again?
Outreach.
You should write this.
More.
I wish
Okay. Director of Marketing. Strategic decisions. Running unopposed?
I'm doing it.
Wait. Seriously, running unopposed?
Yeah.
Okay, great. Congratulations, Gabe. Next. Hey, seriously, nobody else? No, I think it'll be great. I'm not saying no. I'm saying, like, there's no other candidates.
Yeah, sure.
Evan's temperature.
That's a good suggestion.
Yeah.
Jackie?
Outreach.
Anybody else? Nobody else? Heads down. Heads down.
Wait, is that Jackie?
Jackie. There are two choices, Gabe and Jackie. Please vote for Gabe by raising your hand. and for Jackie. Okay, thank you. Gabe took it by sort of a landslide. Not a huge landslide. Not a huge landslide. Next,
Let's see what kind of
outreach. Outreach.
Alex Varner.
Kyla.
Dang, so we have a whole bunch of candidates all of a sudden. Could somebody please repeat those again?
Alex Winters Varner.
Who?
Alex Winters Varner.
Alexandra Varner. Great.
Kyla.
Julia Saldamondo.
Who else?
Aaron Graff.
She's up. Who else? Did I forget someone? Those are the three choices. Aaron Graff. That one.
Her name is not Aaron.
These are the three choices? Yeah. Alex, Kyla, Aaron. Anything else?
Me neither.
No? Heads down? Damn. Do that. Grizzly. I'm waiting. Please raise your hand to vote for Alex.
That's obnoxious. Please stop.
Who is that?
I'll punch whoever is doing that in the face right now.
Does that mean I'm young? I can't hear it.
Oh, you are young. That's impressive.
Kyla? And Aaron. You can look up. Somebody voted more than once, more than one time. That's pretty lame. But I think even within that margin of error, Aaron just barely squeezed that one out. Everybody else was that's the red face. I think only one person actually voted twice. It's not the end of the world. Research. Coincidentally, if there were seniors in the room, this is sometimes the best assignment for seniors, not the directorship, though.
Not Jackie. Sit, buddy.
Candidates for research?
Anna. Kyla.
No.
Lane Fisher. Could we get her back in?
I'll say no. What?
Andrew Fay. Andrew Fay. Oh, yeah. Audrey and Andrew Fay.
Audrey? No?
Hey, Fay.
Read the effing packet. Good. I'm glad. Yes or no?
No.
Andrew Fay. You're like, you said
She said no.
No.
Andrew Fay, please accept, because nobody's accepting.
Pen. How about pen?
Can Will Belfiore already do it too?
I want to forget the segments anyway.
What's that? Matt Gilligan.
Nick Blondell.
Nick Blondell.
Do you have to? Matt Gilligan. I thought it was
Maddie Keller.
Start writing stuff down.
Yeah, go figure out.
Okay, look.
I'm making a selfie.
Watch, hold on a minute. Here's a good way to think about this. All of you want to talk, none of you want to think what you're saying. Like, somebody has to take responsibility for the content. Yeah.
I know this is a really dumb question, but each of these people
Can't wait.
are Like, there's a director, there's a board of directors, so they're directing each of these projects, so they wouldn't necessarily have to write all the research themselves, it would just be in control.
That's right. They're the chair of the committee, so they're the one that makes all the people that do the work do the work. What?
They themselves don't have to be.
Okay, I'll do it too. JK.
Anybody else?
JK.
Whoa. My initials are on the board.
Matt Gilligan?
Did you volunteer?
Research?
I didn't know.
Would you do it?
No.
Okay.
The one in the middle is named from me. I want to do it.
Nah, JK.
Anybody else?
Okay, I actually have a question. So, if you're designating stuff off, right, but if those people don't meet those requirements, does it fall on you?
Sort of.
Yeah.
No.
See, that's the problem. Like, storing on trust a bunch of loose cannons.
I mean, you have a lot of opportunity to make it work. You don't, wait,
Make one up.
this is so not productive. I don't want to pull teeth over this. Dude, you don't need to stress quite that much. Because, yes, you do depend on everybody else, but separately, they should be pretty well motivated by this being a huge part of their grade. You also give them the grade. And so, you're responsible for 25% of their year-end. Sorry, a letter grade of their year-end, you set that. So you could be like, okay, you're not writing the stupid thing. I will give you a 0 for your individual grade. They drop straight from a 100% to an 87.5. So if they have a 91%, they go from A- to C+ because of what you say about their performance. So they should be pretty motivated by your share of the grade. Second of all, if that impacts the whole class, then that's everybody else's grade dropping by an equal volume. So the whole class is here to pressure those that are slacking.
That's because you grade us?
And, well, we'll talk about that later. It sort of depends on how much you have to begin with. And finally, you have a lot of baby steps along the way. So you can set a deadline, a secondary deadline, tertiary deadline. And so usually it's not that big of a problem. I haven't heard occasionally stupid Jackie refuses to do any work or something. And then everybody will gang up on that person and kind of get it done. And I can meet with people if I have to. Yeah.
So for research directors, we're not actually writing the papers, are we just looking over everyone's paper?
Usually you consolidate. In the end, it ends up being that either you're the final editor or you make sure that it's been edited. In this case, because there's so much research involved, the paper's just one little thing.
We just actually have to double check.
Bulk of your stuff is all the fact checking.
So we literally have to go back over, research it all, and then just check that it's right.
Yep.
Yeah, no, take my name off. No.
Okay, kids, heads down before we lose any more candidates. This is Alex and Audrey. Vote for Alex. And Audrey. Thank you. I think those would have been great, but it seems like Alex kind of took it. Finally, production is in charge of making the stuff that everybody else will see.
I'll do it.
Nick B is way down.
Me too.
Who else? Anybody else?
Who's really good?
Now there's one.
I love on the product. You use something
I need to speak. I need to speak. You're directing the work of others. So this is more the producer, not the technician. The actual, we want the people with the very best skills to be members of this committee, not in charge of it. If you know which of these people is the truly gifted video maker, don't vote for them. They should work for the person that can manage them and others.
So if you win, it's a win-win. If you win, you get.
Basically, so this guy's also editing all the writing and making sure that everything goes out.
No.
Not exactly, no.
Goes out this directly.
They do the first draft of all the writing. I mean, they coordinate all the drafting of the writing and all of the production of the videos.
Oh, then I'll take my name off. Tell her that.
Nick.
I mean, do people want me to do it? Yes, do it. Okay, if people want me to do it, then I'll do it.
Anybody else? Apparently too much of a secret because he's not telling me. Good. Okay. Now, everybody. Got a lot of candidates. You can only vote for one, and everybody must vote once. This period's almost over. This is really frustrating. All the other classes have all their committees. I don't know what you need to talk about, but this is taking too long. This will be the only period that doesn't have all their committee assignments. Your 6 choices are Kyla, Graham, Hannah, Dane, Nick, and MC Maddie Cutler. Kyla, vote. Graham.
Graham's good at video.
Hannah.
It's too good. We don't want
Dane. Maddie. And Nick B. You can look up. Extremely regionalized, by the way. Everybody voted right around their piece. So Hannah took that one. Will Belfiore, will you please keep this information on paper? We'll assign committees tomorrow.